एनडीपी आगू जगमीत सिंह ने ठीक उस वेले प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की जदों उन्हां दी पार्टी का कक्स आउण संभाले संसदी सैशन दौरान रणनीति तय करने का आयोजन कर रहा है। इस सैशन के दौरान कुछ MP निजी तौर पर शामिल होणगे, जदों कि कुछ होर वर्चुअली तौर पर इस सैशन दे विच हिस्सा लैणगे।
I want to start off by talking about the fact that our MPs will be gathering to have a strategic session discussing how we can continue to fight for people. Throughout this pandemic, I'm really proud of the fact that our team of members of parliament have been fighting for their constituents and for all Canadians. So we're going to meet to discuss how we can continue to do that. And I know that you'll have some questions about the throne speech, but I just want to mention that while on one hand, Prime Minister Trudeau and the Liberal government will be trying to put forward a throne speech where they'll be talking about helping people, right now what they are putting forward as a plan to change CERB or to modify CERB and move towards changed EI will mean that 3 million Canadians will be worse off. Their plan will make it harder for Canadians to access the help they need, in addition to forcing Canadians to get by on less support, because what they're proposing will reduce the support to Canadians, to families, by at least 20%. And that is a wrong thing to do given a second wave, given the concerns of Canadians who are worried that a second wave might mean lockdowns and the fact that they will potentially lose their jobs and need to get help and support from the new form of CERB, whether it's changes to EI, and the fact that they're going to get less help and it's going to be harder to access is the wrong thing to do. In fact, our priority should be to make it easy to get the help that Canadians need. Given a second wave, people are worried and afraid about the future. They should know that there will be help for them when they need it. On top of that, what we need to do to make a priority is healthcare. Make sure people are confident that our healthcare system is getting the funding it needs, and particularly long-term care homes. We need to know that there is support there so that seniors are never again bearing the brunt of COVID-19. That has to change, and there's still been no changes on that. And moving forward in terms of what people want to see is investments to create jobs in their communities, jobs that also help us fight the climate crisis. Given the massive forest fires that are making the air quality in Vancouver amongst the worst in the world, and in the Lower Mainland, Burnaby, and it's even touching Vancouver Island. We need to make sure we make investments that help us reduce emissions. So retrofitting homes, investing in public transit, using our federal dollars to reduce our emissions and create local jobs should be a priority. But I want to make one thing clear around the throne speech. I won't be surprised if the Prime Minister says some nice things, says things that are things that we've been asking for. Universal pharmacare is something we campaigned on, we've been fighting for, we've been demanding for years now. And if the government announces something on that or talks about that, I won't be surprised. They did that in the campaign. But where has the action been? They have not actually done anything. And so I won't be surprised if the Prime Minister says some of the right things, says some of the things that Canadians want to hear, some of the things that we want to hear. But what I am worried about is that they'll just be empty words. Because again and again, we've seen this Prime Minister and this Liberal government talk about things, but then never act on them. They've talked about universal pharmacare, not delivered anything. We put forward a bill saying, let's take the first step in creating a Canadian pharmacare.